Go-getters, the golden children of society. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all have a little bit more of that in our own lives? Maybe you're feeling a little unmotivated, a little stuck, a little lethargic, and you're just wishing that you could have a little bit more of that go-getter enthusiasm, drive, and motivation to take action in your own life. Well, you're in luck because in this video, I'm going to clarify what makes go-getters different, debunk some common misconceptions about go-getters, and share some tips on how to be a bit more of a go-getter in your own life. For me personally, I have never felt like a go-getter, and I've always kind of wished that I had a little bit more of that go-getter energy. I had never really connected with an internal drive or an internal motivation that made me enthusiastic to go out there and be kind of like a go-getter. And for most of my life, I had felt a lot more externally motivated than I had felt internally motivated. So what that looks like is knowing that you kind of have to do things or you'll get in trouble if you don't do things. So you're really motivated by external circumstances and external motivation. And it kind of just feels like it's dragging you forward rather than you feeling an internal drive to go get something. It's kind of like when you know you have to go to work in the morning and you really don't want to, but you know you kind of have to because if you don't, there'll be negative consequences. So you end up being kind of dragged to your job every day rather than being excited and motivated to go there on your own. And back when I worked in an office at my 9 to 5, the go-getters would always stand out. They're always the people that seem to be running around enthusiastically, accomplishing a lot, and really just having this mysterious zest for life that I couldn't really conjure without 3 cups of coffee. And it really can just feel like they just have something that you don't. And it's really easy to think, oh, I'll never be like that. They are born that way. That's just how they're wired. And I'm just not like that. Yet at the same time, you can kind of secretly wish that you were more like those go-getters. They're generally seen as like star employees and they're seen as like the model employee in a workplace. And they really seem to set the standard for productivity and accomplishment and everything that an employer would want. So they can kind of leave you feeling like you don't measure up and like you're not as good of an employee when you don't have the same enthusiasm that they do. And putting kind of the external motivation star employee discussion aside, for me personally, I always wanted to be a bit more of a go-getter because I wanted to feel that enthusiastic or motivated about anything in my life. I always wanted to have more energy and enthusiasm and be a self-starter in my own life, but I just never really felt like I had that motivation. So before I talk about how to be more of a go-getter in your own life, I want to dive a little bit deeper into what it means to be a go-getter and debunk some of the common misconceptions we can have around go-getters. First, let's start with the definition of a go-getter. A go-getter can be defined as an aggressively enterprising person. And if we break down the words aggressively and enterprising, we can see that aggressively means a determined and forceful way, and enterprising means showing initiative and resourcefulness. So you can really think of a go-getter as someone who shows determination and resourcefulness in an aggressive and determined way. And while this may seem positive at first glance, I do see a problem here. And that's with the aggressive part. I think showing initiative, being determined, and being resourceful are all great. But as soon as you throw aggressively into the mix, that's when you're going against the flow of life. Life doesn't need to be approached with a forceful mindset, and as soon as we get into that mindset, we can really start paddling our boat upstream in life. And for me, when I think about someone aggressively pursuing a goal, it really brings up this image of someone kind of blindly bulldozing everyone and everything that's on the path to their goal. So now I want to break down some of the qualities that we generally associate with go-getters and shine a more neutral light on them and show how they may not all be positive qualities. So what do you think of when you think of a go-getter? Maybe you think of someone who is enthusiastic, motivated, and driven, someone who takes action and takes initiative, someone who's really energetic and productive, and someone who's accomplishing a lot in life. And while on the surface all of these qualities may sound good, I want to take a moment to shine a light on these from a different angle than you may be used to thinking about them. So when we think about enthusiasm, motivation, and drive, they all sound great at first until you ask the question, what is really driving this person? What is the source of this motivation? Is it positive or is it negative? So just like I talked about earlier with not really wanting to go to work, but you drag yourself there so you don't get in trouble, maybe these people are really externally motivated And the motivation isn't accomplishing something that's really fulfilling in their lives, but it's avoiding negative consequences. Or they could be people pleasers, or they could be seeking validation from people around them in their lives instead of validating themselves. They could be driven by fear, the fear of losing their jobs or being perceived negatively by other people. Or they could be driven by the feeling that they need to prove themselves in order to be worthy. So when we look at action and initiative, these are great things. These are probably what a lot of you want when you clicked on this video. You want to know how to take action and initiative in your life and be more of that go-getter. But just make sure that you're doing it from the right mentality. Some people take action and initiative from a hustle mentality where they feel that they have to work really hard and that life is generally hard and that you always have to hustle to get what you want. Similarly, when we look at the energetic and productive aspects of being a go-getter, again, you have to ask, are they being the good type of productive? Are they working smarter, not harder, or are they just grinding it out to get things done? And lastly, when we look at accomplishment, it's very similar to what could be driving or motivating these people. So yes, they could be accomplishing things in life, but are those things truly fulfilling for them? Or are they just doing it because it's societal conditioning and it's what they think they should be doing? Are they doing it to please others, or are they doing it for external validation? Or are they really accomplishing things that are going to make them happy in the long run? And so this part of the video is not at all to say that these are negative qualities. Go-getters have a lot of positive qualities, but if some of you are looking at go-getters and thinking that you want to be like that and you wish you had more of that energy and that drive, and you have this tendency to possibly put go-getters on a pedestal above you and say that they're doing a better job than you, then what I would like you to do is reflect on the last section of the video and think, maybe they're actually not doing better than me because maybe they're being motivated by external circumstances, or they never feel fulfilled no matter how much they do in their life. So the last thing I want to talk about before I talk about how to be more of a go-getter is why you aren't a go-getter already. And to put it simply, being a go-getter means that you've identified something that you want to go get. So the first reason why you may not be a go-getter in your life is because you haven't identified anything that makes you excited or enthusiastic, or that you feel you want to go get, that you want to work hard towards. So of course, if you don't love your life right now and your goals don't excite you, or you don't have goals, you're not going to feel like a go-getter. You don't have anything that you want to go get in your life. And if you have goals in your life right now that don't really motivate you and you wish you could be more of a go-getter so that you could accomplish the goals that you've identified, then maybe ask yourself, what about this goal excites me? Will this goal make me feel fulfilled? Will this goal help me realize my values in life? Or is this goal kind of externally motivated? Maybe it's just something I feel I should be doing. It's something that everyone does. What is really behind this goal, and why is there a disconnect between this goal and you feeling excited? And if you don't have a goal and you don't really feel excited about anything in your life right now, then you need to shake up your routine. It doesn't make sense to expect to be able to find your passion in a daily routine that doesn't bring you any excitement or joy. Sometimes we can get stuck in these routines and these ruts in our lives where we do kind of the same things all the time, and we don't really feel passionate about our lives or anything in our lives, and yet we have these thoughts of wanting to find our passion and find excitement and motivation in life. But at this point, you already know that the way you're living your life and what you've exposed yourself to doesn't excite you. So you really need to put yourself out there and start exposing yourself to new people, new ideas, just new things that you can respond to, that you can say, hey, that was kind of cool. I want to learn more about that. And another reason why you may not identify with being a go-getter is because you feel like a go-getter looks a certain way, that there's only one way to be a go-getter, and it's those really excited, motivated, energetic, kind of aggressively determined people, but you can be a go-getter and not look that way. If you have a goal or something that you're striving towards in life, you're already a go-getter. You're trying to go get something. Being a go-getter doesn't mean you have to move at a frantic, aggressive pace. You can still be a go-getter and be calm and collected and move forward in your own time and in your own way, and you're still moving towards a goal. Okay, it's time to talk about how to be more of a go-getter in your own life. The first step is to identify something that excites you. You need to find something that you want to go get. You need a goal, you need something to move towards. And it needs to be something that feels meaningful to you so that you have that determination when times get tough or when obstacles come up to keep moving forward. And if you want some help figuring out what excites you or maybe what you want to go get, then check out my Ikigai video and my life vision video, and I'll link them both up there. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't really know what I'm passionate about, I don't really feel excited about anything, then like I said earlier, you need to start exposing yourself to new people and ideas and getting out of your same old habits and starting to try new things. When I first started my journey towards quitting my 9 to 5, I had no idea what I wanted to do next. I had been so focused on being an engineer for the last 10 years of my life, I had never really considered anything other than that. And I didn't have any strong opinions or things that I felt really excited about at that time in my life. So I had to start exposing myself to new ideas and new people. I started taking courses, I started watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts and just trying to expose myself to new things. And I had no idea that life coaching even existed when I started this exploration journey. I had started watching videos on YouTube by Vanessa Lau, and I didn't even find her because she was a coach at the time. I found her because she had posted a video about quitting her corporate 9 to 5, and I was kind of just in that phase of Googling like how to quit your 9 to 5, that sort of thing, and I came across her videos and I watched a few of them, and at one point she mentioned that she was coaching people, and just this light bulb went off in my head and I was thinking, oh, I could do that. I might enjoy that. And so it was through this whole process of being curious that one thing led to another, and I just found my next steps. And if you're feeling a little nervous about moving forward because you fear the thoughts and opinions of other people, or you fear being judged by other people, or maybe you've just kind of done what you've been told your whole life, then make sure to check out my people-pleasing video up here as well. When you're in this headspace, what you really need to focus on is finding courage to take the next steps forward. You need courage just to try something and see how it goes. And once you've found something that you want to go get in your life, then it's time to start taking action. And just remember, being a go-getter doesn't have to look one way. If you're taking action, you're being a go-getter. For me, I took years of slow and steady action before I was able to finally quit my 9 to 5. And once you're in action, you have to be ready to pivot, make changes, and overcome obstacles. Just like in the definition of being a go-getter, you have to be resourceful. There's always a way forward, even if you just can't see it yet. And while it took me years to finally leave my 9 to 5, it also took a lot of trial and error. I didn't know what I wanted to do next, and I didn't know myself very well, so it was a process. I had to be resourceful, and I had to keep pivoting and trying new things and keep moving forward. And part of being resourceful is knowing when to pivot and knowing that it's okay to pivot. It's okay if the first plan that you came up with doesn't work. That was just your first guess at how you may go about doing this. And as you move down the path, you learn what works and doesn't work, and you update your plan from there. And speaking of learning, one really important quality to embody at this phase of the journey is to have a growth mindset. This means seeing challenges and obstacles as learning opportunities and as growth opportunities rather than dead ends. If you really want to embody that go-getter attitude, it means understanding that you may not get things right on the first try. This isn't about trying something once and if it doesn't work, just giving up. Go-getters are determined and they're resourceful. They keep trying even when things come up along the way. And lastly, go-getters are determined, and being determined means staying consistent and being patient. And again, just like being a go-getter can look many different ways, being consistent can also look different depending on who it is. So being consistent could be doing something every single day, but it doesn't have to be. Being consistent could look like working on something every Sunday or one day a week, and you're slowly making your way towards your goal. And it's really important to understand what consistency really means. It doesn't mean never missing a day. It means when you miss a day, you keep going. You expect to miss a day. That's just part of life. Something is going to come up. And you just know that you're going to stay consistent and you'll hit it next time. So when you expect to be inconsistently consistent, You don't get defeated the first time that you ever miss the day that you say you're going to do something. Just because you miss it doesn't mean it's been ruined and that you should just give up and stop. It just means you keep going the next day. You make it up when you can. So there you have it. That's how you can be more of a go-getter in your own life. It means first identifying something that you want to go get in your life, something that excites you. Then it means starting to take action and initiative towards that, which includes a lot of trial and error and a lot of pivoting and learning as you go. But remember to always be patient and stay consistent towards your goals. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It really supports the channel, and leave a comment. I love hearing back from everyone and hearing what resonated with you. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like more weekly content like this, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.